The universe writes itself, yin and yang. We find ourselves with JDG one up in the series. Looking at very similar bans coming through. Once again, Graves, Nidalee, Varus gone off the board for EDG. The JDG on this blue side, once again, with the Twisted Fate, Syndra, Kalista gone, will opt towards the Volibear in the top lane.
Coma has the belt. I'm sure Clearlove has the whip. Let's hope he pulled it out for this second game, because JDG have once more prioritized the Volibear at the cost of the Aphelios and the potential for that Lee Sin / Graves to come through.
I think the Lee Sin comes in.
Sorry,
oh, actually,
Graves.
wow.
Okay.
Opting in towards the Trundle. Kanavi's going to be delighted to get his hands on towards this Lee Sin, if that's what he wants to go towards. I think anyway, they still go towards an AD carry here as well. You can go towards the Ezreal if you like to, or the Ashe once again.
Kanavi does like Kindred. Kanavi's Kindred, a different vein. Oh, don't even. Kanavi!
He's not going to.
Well, hang on. This was played in the Challenger Series in OC. God damn, that was so close. I was perusing back in my old region, and actually in the Challenger Series, a shout out to, I believe they're on QUT, a university team. Actually played Shaco in a competitive game, which, but the Kindred was looked at, and double AD carry already set up for JDG in game 2.
And this works super well against Jiejie, because he's on this Trundle. He wants to be able to, you know, have at least a nice time around objectives, but Kindred's able to play nice and far back. She's got some great tools to work against Trundle. So the jungle matchup heavily favored over in Kanavi's side. You've still got Ashe, who should be able to control this bottom lane as well. And if Aodi's going to go towards this Ornn once again, well, Zoom will win out in that top lane. So Kanavi has this open season where he can go in and try and steal away some of these marks in the early game.
Just rinse and repeating. Essentially the same feel of draft. LvMao's heads in the X. It's like, whatever. And Bard's going to be banned here as well on top of the Brom. Get ready. LvMao's Brom in game 1. Also MVP worthy.
And it is that combo that we talked about, though, with Ashe coming back into meta. Brom will start to slide into a support that works super well with it, because you've got slows on stuns
Especially when
on good
Ornn's
things
S
all
tier,
around.
right?
Exactly. So it makes sense. We'll not see that Brom, though. We'll more than likely see. Oh, so the LvMao Bard is open if they want to go for it.
Yeah. Let's see.
I actually really like it. It screws with Aphelios so well, because you don't have a huge amount of ways to get around it. The likes of the cleanse don't really matter, and you can set up incredibly well for these brawls where you can enable Zoom to get in on right on top of the Aphelios and work really well.
Mid counterpick was the option last time here for EDG. Same to do again. Meiko's Leona had some moments, but will you pick Bard into the Leona?
That's the thing. If you're going to go towards Leona, Bard becomes a little bit more difficult to work with. It oftentimes gets paired with something more so like the Ezreal, where you can kind of have Ezreal make this lane non-interactive and Bard goes for the roams. But with Leona, it's too easy for the engage to come through from both the Aphelios and the Leona, but
it's like, do you care enough, right? Yagao picking LeBlanc wouldn't be a surprise. It is by far his best champion, and Toothpaste himself is going to show us it again in game 2.
And it's very similar comp to what we saw in the last game now for JDG. The only thing right now that we're seeing mixed up is going to be that Bard in the bottom lane, and going to be that jungle Kindred as well.
You know what? People won't die if done right here from JDG.
Look, I think what JDG have opted for here is amazing, because you get this nice early game pressure that can come through with the Ashe, with your Kindred, with your LeBlanc as well. But oftentimes, especially if you're going to go towards this Galio, the scaling option that you want to opt for in ADG is through that Aphelios and Ornn setting them up for success. But when you've got Bard can just nullify that entirely, because he just CC locks with Tempered Fate that Aphelios and allows Yagao to pop in over a wall, have all of these different angles of attack for JDG, and Hope is really going to have his work cut out for him in this game.
You know what? Really different comp from EDG. It's the exact same.
I know. I mean, I don't know.
Dude, how different is this? I mean,
there's a heal instead of a cleanse on Aphelios. See?
Okay, all right. Well,
the devil's in the detail.
We know what we're looking towards. JDG to get the ball rolling off the ground. EDG scale back and build up that wombo once more. So, Clearlove, I got to say, one of the most fashionable coaches in the LPL. His hair is always like the same way. Perfect gap between each hair strand as well, I've noticed. And, you know, as well, kind of like people will wonder why we talk about Clearlove. If you don't know about Clearlove, that's fair enough. Maybe you're not an LPL fan throughout the years. The dude's been around since forever.
Yeah.
And now is actually a part of the EDG organization. Much like Faker,
yeah.
due to his tenure on EDG, he has been added as a part owner. So Clearlove is the Faker of this region. Just a very different region. Well, yes, but a very different role. Yeah. Clearlove was a jungler, Faker of mid laner. But Clearlove, the 7s better get spammed right now because he needs your support. EDG needs your support. They need a win here to have faith for their upcoming matches. JDG looked pretty good for the majority of Game 1. And running under the rift for number 2, the question will be, can EDG hold on long enough to get this Wombo in place and pull this to a Game 3?
It is going to be a tough one. Not only because, look, you need that scaling to come through from EDG again, where I can see, especially Kanavi on this Kindred, getting off to a really good start, especially in the jungle matchup that he has, solidifying those dragons nice and early once again for JDG, although it might be a little bit tougher with the support matchup. But, oh, God.
Colonel, you cheeky devil, you. All right.
Look, I'm very much on Colonel's wavelength here, where you get these early dragons set up, you get to play as JDG in the spike where you're strongest, and even if you do manage to stumble a couple of times and get towards late game, where Hope has taken on this new form on Aphelios, you still have so much CC and so many ways of dealing with them, with the tempered face, the exhaust, the invulnerability that Kanavi offers as well. It just becomes hard to do Hope or Aphelios things as Hope.
Look, Dagda, I will just say, the guy makes a mean wing, right? That batter is irresistible. But do I trust him with League of Legends? A lot of the time, no. I think the Colonel is biased towards a team that has red in it. And JDG, they're all red. You know what?
So JDG.
No, but hang on. EDG, this team mainly, the logo is black and white. Right? They are wearing red shirts, I know what you mean. But JDG has red in the logo as well, in the little devil. And red is the color of KFC. So,
but technically, EDG have a full red jersey, whereas JDG have black on the arms. And,
I don't care. I'm right.
I don't know.
I'm looking at the logos behind me.
Look, your logic is a little bit off for me.
Look at EDG's logo. They can't see it, but look at it. Black and white. Where's JDG? Red, white, devil. No, that's the end of the conversation. Also,
I'm done here.
I want you to note, there is a double unsealed spellbook on EDG. The chance of triple smite means that after Game 1, their chance to steal the Baron is double.
It's actually 100% true of what you're saying.
Yes.
But what's super interesting for me is the change in decision-making when it comes to those routes. Because usually you still go cross-speed and down for Aodi because you're like, okay, cool, well, I'm going to have a little bit of a tougher lane here. We talked about how the healing and all that good jazz really does help when you're facing off against a Volibear. But Volibear has gone away from press the attack and gone towards grasp the Undying himself. So I'm curious as to why Zoom has opted away from this. I felt like he could still punish super heavily with that press the attack.
But Kanavi's coming mid, scouts at half health, flash or Justice Punch. What one's going to come out first as Yagao goes forward into the engage. Shielded Duran dodged away from. I think Scout should have just left. That
definitely should have gone.
Not the play.
Yeah, but you can still see, again, this is the JDG classic, right? Yagao leaving that kill there for Kanavi to get this jungler rolling. And especially when you got the double AD carry here for JDG, they are super strong when they do get to those late game portions as well. So you cannot discount how strong Kanavi and LoKen will be together. So honestly, EDG, I don't even think they really have that massive outscale potential here in this game.
I mean, at this point, JDG getting the ball off the ground early is just a great start. You know, going over to Kanavi, as you said, goes back, gets skirmishing and a longsword. Now, the first mark of the game for him is down towards the bottom side, but still, an early gold advantage, a lot of damage to Jewel. He's going to be great for the MVP of 2020 spring here in the LPL.
And I think you hit a really good nail on the head here, is that Jiejie went towards the Krugs rather than going towards that mark. So now as Kanavi, you can hop over that wall and go straight towards it. There you go. They spotted out that it's still there. Scout, you don't have a jungler here.
Yeah, he has flash, but Shielded Duran could change the face if there was a jungler, but not in time. He just wants to steal this away. Smite, yep. And the first mark, I believe, for Kanavi.
But, like, JJ should have gone towards the scuttle, should have gone towards that mark rather than finishing off the Krugs. Like, the benefit you get from finishing Krugs versus stopping that mark going over is far higher. So, I don't know, it just feels like JJ may not have had as much gameplay against the Kindred, but needs to now ramp it up because Kanavi's now got the kill, he's starting to get those marks, and he's going to start getting more aggressive as well and getting into JJ's face.
I can't wait to see him go through mid once again. Yagao still has a flash available, and LvMao thinking about, oh, almost. It's important to me that I see the best Bard player showing us what the best Bard skin is. And he's picked Astro Bard, and I agree. At the moment, this is the sexiest Bard skin on Summoner's Rift. Kanavi's going to be starting the Ocean Dragon. He only has one mark, of course. I also want everyone to note that he did target Jiejie at the start of the game, so Scout didn't think he's getting targeted for the free mark. As Kanavi's going to do this, get the heal up, and Ocean kick things off. Feels nice.
And it feels like JDG are starting off right in this game where they've already got these dragons in their favor. There it goes. And, just waiting for the burn. But yeah, so then Kanavi's already got this going. He's got a kill. He's got a mark. And, ooh, maybe bottom. Oh, well played.
Could you imagine if the interaction was that Meiko came through?
Yeah,
the
with the whole
portal
way.
jump. The, not portal jump, sorry. Seeing the Bard skin. The magical journey. That is a port. That is like
a portal. I'm fine with it being portal. Look,
how silly is he? Imagine Bard in space.
How do the portals work then? Because
there's
no walls, right? Well, there's no walls in space, so if he's an astronaut, where does he put it? All right, we just dismantled the lore.
No.
All right, no, this skin's got to go.
The
skin's got to go.
I don't think it's in the lore.
The physics of the world don't work here. All right, hysterics.
Oh, man. It's just... It's such a good skin.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's a lot of skins to be highlighted in League of Legends. I just think Astro Bard is one of them. What's the best skin in League? I think Project Ashe feels really good.
Yeah.
Project Ashe sounds cool. Zombie Brand. I keep saying the word waiter, like asking for service.
Moo Cow Alistair.
Oh, yes. Oh, that's so good. And the tilt. This is why, like, Alistair not being in the meta is kind of sad. Because the tilt you can provide to both your allies and your opponents is astounding.
So the thing is, though, if you look at it in the grand scheme of things, you are tilting your AD carry, but you're tilting an AD carry and a support on the other team.
Yes.
So by default, you win.
Oh, that's so good. I haven't heard Astro Bard's laugh yet, but I'm sure that's something that sounds like it's outdoors. As Kanavi going to pick up a second Scuttle Crab. I'm trying to track the marks, ladies and gentlemen, so apologize if I miss out.
Got one.
He's still got one. That Scuttle wasn't marked again. Instead, it is the Gromp camp on the other side of the Rift. Well, Jiejie, a bit of an invade towards blue. He'll be spotted out going back up. I'm surprised that Kanavi didn't want to match the vertical jungling, instead going back towards the side of the map.
Well, he needs to with Rift Herald up. They want to try and make a play here, which is why you've got LvMao up on this top side. Hope and Meiko are roaming, though. So it looks like EDG at least are trying to contest this because they know that LoKen is stuck down underneath this bottom lane turret.
Meiko spotted on a ward. LvMao behind Yagao. Scout trying to get the shove to set up for this. A full 5-on-5 bar LoKen, actually. At the ready as LvMao a bit short on the Cosmic Binding again. LoKen has arrow, though, to aim up the line.
I mean, you need LoKen here, though, for the damage. You're not really going to be able to contest this as JDG. Maybe looking for a steal with Kanavi, but I think it's just better off gifting this right now.
There is no ultimate from LvMao. He's level 5, trying to get out immediately. Will do so. The Jet Crystal Arrow goes through. Yagao doesn't get the execution. Zoom hasn't ulted in yet. Call the Forge God lines them up as they get low. The knock-up onto Yagao. Herald secured, but now in a choke. Here comes Zoom. Layers on down, but flashes away immediately with the hero's entrance from Scout. The poke still following through. LoKen starting to hit away. The shield is ran at 3 as Yagao is going to sandwich into 4 people, but doesn't hit anyone. And all comes to nothing as EDG pick up the Herald and walk away.
I would have preferred to see JDG instead keep LoKen down on this bottom side, shove in aggressively, and look to trade this for terror plates onto LoKen. They cannot fight this. It was too late for LoKen to make his way up, and even then, great disengage from EDG to make sure that they don't lose any members on the way out of that play.
That was definitely awkward first date territory for these two teams. JDG still up 1,000 gold, but with the Herald, that should be evened out momentarily. And yeah, that was... No, it was like tension. You know when you really like someone and they really like you and you both know?
Yeah.
and no one's willing to say, you know, we should go out sometime, or, you know, hey, let's, you know, you want to come back to my place, or yeah, let's get a drink. More appropriate for the broadcast. But no one asks it, and you're in this awkward limbo. Yeah. That's exactly what I experienced there as Scout, getting a face first to Yagao. This magical... What was that look?
No.
Oh, sorry. The context of what we're talking about, probably not the right wording either. The Sork shoes were picked up first. Protobelt almost picked up for Scout, but we got a dragon. I'm ready to do this awkward first date again.
We'll have to see if it will come to fruition. 30 seconds until that dragon spawns. You won't have Scout's ultimate, which is pretty crucial for EDG. So unfortunately, unless they can make this play happen bot side, I think this should be a JDG fight.
At least LvMao will have the tempered fate. Jiejie's going to be spotted out. Cosmic Binding. Kanavi over the wall, just jumps on in. Wow. A lot of respect shown, and Meiko even getting locked on down the Solar Flare, but the damage follow-up as the Tempered Fate finally comes through, locks down 3 people, double TP, lands the spite in the middle. This is not an awkward first date. This is crazy, as Meiko's in the middle, still low. Yagao jumps on in, face first, almost dies himself, and call the Forge God to line on up as LvMao only just gets out. Jiejie follows through. It's a fight on 1,000,000,001 fronts. As Yagao has to double distortion away. LvMao is so low. The Bellows Breath. Aodi with the steering charge against all the winds of war. Scout goes golden. It's another stopwatch. Yagao just needs to hit him once. And there's only
one more.
1 versus 1 left on the Rift. As hope is low, Yagao has enough mana for a distortion, but he won't follow up. A trade across the board.
That's what I wanted to see after our slow pace in game number 1. Both these teams take off the gloves. It's all about getting in dirty and trying to see if they can outmatch, outclass, and outperform their opponents. And this is where Kanavi goes a little bit over aggressive. If he'd been able to just stay at arm's length, but opting into that fight, ends up getting caught between the pillar with no way of jumping back out, and ends up having to use that Lamb's Respite, which keeps EDG alive and gives them that moment to respond to this fight. This is just...
You helped me track this, because even casting this, I thought, what the heck is happening?
And when we get to this stage, it's like, okay, Aodi is like, I'm sacrificing my life. As long as we can get them lined up against the wall here, I can go for the searing charge. And Hope tries to tank one more terror shot to give Scout enough time to get out, but unfortunately, it's not enough where Yagao can finish them off. So with that, 1,000 and a bit gold lead for JDG. Nothing has actually changed too much. However, that dragon did go to EDG, who got back out on the map first.
The LPL teams are creatures of habit, and if we're going to fight once, we're going to fight twice. The arrow lands on the backline. They try and get on Hope. Solar Flare onto Yagao as well. Low health bars EDGs. Meiko goes way too far forward. That's a Yagao clone. The Scout doesn't get the knock-up with the ultimate, and Meiko drops down. Tempered Fate onto Jiejie. They turn onto Scout, who gets the shield of Duran. The follow-up into 2, and it's Hope doing Aphelios things, and Jiejie surviving for now. LoKen with the slow on down, while pings are still there. Flash onto Scout with the auto, and LoKen feeling himself by the flash from the AD carry was close. Hope almost found his window.
That was so close, and Hope trying to bring out those mechanics, what we'd love to see from the EDG AD carry, but unfortunately can't quite deal with Yagao. We'll get LoKen in return, but messy fights once more, but JDG are coming out on top.
So, what was I saying before? LPL teams are creatures of habit. If they fight bottom once, they're going to do it again.
And in this fight here, Meiko, as you said, going that little bit too far forward. As Yagao distorts back, he follows him underneath the structure, which means Scout ends up a bit overextended. Trying to catch both people out there, LvMao with the Tempered Fate, but it actually gives Scout a chance to come back in. Great presence of mind from Scout to realize, I can turn this now with Hope. But LoKen finds that flash forward, finds that play, and LvMao, I love the setup here from LvMao. Already going right. We're going to need an exit stage left. Pops that in through the wall to at least give them the opportunity to escape before Hope can get a couple more kills under this.
LvMao's really wrecking this game. You know, JDG as Kanavi is going to find Jiejie. It's a jungle matchup, and there's so much damage here on the Kindred, who's 3-2 at 3. Forces him out, while EDG's bottom lane going to capitalize with bot turret going down. Gold near even at 15 minutes with 14 kills.
But that's good for EDG because at the moment they just want Hope to try and scale up. They want him to get towards his items. It's JDG are strong now, but they will continue to be strong. So for EDG, trying to go like 1-for-1 at this stage of the game is perfect for them.
At least we're going to do some tracking in a second, but LvMao starting the setup with LoKen on the wing. I want to track marks once again, but unfortunately, we're looking at LoKen as, oh, it's bear time.
Yeah, he's gone grasp, though. It's not going to have the same amount of burst damage as that press the attack.
Scary.
It is still scary, but I do want to take a look at Kanavi and the way he's playing this Kindred, because
he got 4 marks.
He does have 4, so he's got that extra range. But at the same time, he has...
Dagda, you don't have time.
Dagda,
you don't have time. Jiejie's going to get locked against the wall. The solar flows back onto LvMao. We're fighting once again. The LPL fans rejoice as LvMao not going to get lined up. He survives. They turn on to Aodi into a choke. The Tempered Fate lines up Hope and Scout. Aodi's going to die meanwhile while Meiko re-engages. EDG are losing this so hard as Hope will give the double over to Kanavi, and EDG left with 2 as Scout dodges away, but not from Zoom. Jiejie the only one left, and JDG win out.
And now JDG can turn towards this mid lane. They still have that Rift Herald there, so off of these backs, there's the potential that they just look to turn and fight once more. But JDG, we said they are strong right now. They have hit those 1 items that are so crucial for their composition, and they are running over EDG.
This was the most decisive of all the fights. It was so back and forth before, but JDG pull out with a 4K gold lead and 10 stacks on a Dark Seal that I guarantee you when Yagao goes back now will become a Meji's, because this LeBlanc is 2 levels up and feeling.
But
do it.
Yeah, I mean,
you're an LPL player, you build Meji's, or you sell it right now.
For EDG, though, again, this is where they lose the fight but get the objective.
I'm kind of upset.
At this stage, I kind of wanted to see like JDG just turn towards the Rift Herald. I was surprised when they turned towards mid, but was like, right, maybe they got the damage with both LoKen and Kanavi to get the mid lane tower and they can turn across, but I mean, they've just given that objective over now to EDG. They didn't get the mid lane structure, so the potential for them to snowball harder isn't quite there right now. But still, they do have a 3,000 gold.
But Dagda, that's still a Dark Seal. I don't care about anything else. There's a Dark Seal still in the inventory. Maybe Yagao couldn't afford it because all he bought was an amplifying tome. Could be waiting for other components. He is level 11. Look at his experience. Yagao's actually almost 12. And Kanavi going to be starting up this dragon by himself while EDG commit to topside with the Herald that we saw. Zoom waiting in a brush. Meiko off to the side. But JDG also powering mid and bot.
Because we're seeing such similar styles of composition from EDG and JDG from Game 1 and Game 2, I want to just kind of separate why this game is so different right now. And the main portion of that is the way that these objectives have gone in the early stages of the game. JDG aren't looking down the barrel of Soul Point or even Dragon Soul altogether for themselves at about the 20 to 25 minute mark, because EDG lost the fight but still got the dragon. Then we're looking towards that Rift Herald as well, where in the last game, JDG were able to use them pretty well to get these structures down and get that snowball rolling. Yagao got number 1, and then he was actually the benefactor of that gold as well off the second Rift Herald that JDG used. Now, though, JDG don't really have objectives that they can force EDG into fights with when they're not at the strongest.
Flash burn, exhaust down, Kanavi 2 levels ahead, and this is so much damage. They can dive this. A couple more autos necessary, flashes forward. Kanavi gets his mark. That's number 7. Kanavi's massive.
Yeah, he's 6'2" and 5. He is huge. And we'll be able to answer open this top lane turret. So at the moment, JDG are just looking to snowball through, brute forcing their way into these jungles.
I think EDG took 1 fight too many. That's going to be the face of regret, I'm sure. As JDG marked their way ahead, 5,000 gold. Baron coming up, Yagao off in the side lane. He has an Oblivion Orb. But you know what would really make it perfect, Dagda?
Something Soul Stealer?
Yeah, well said. Let's wait. Yagao backing again. Every time. Oh. See, if it was Knight, Meji's first buy. If it was Duanby, Meji. If it was Rookie, Dagda, would you ask the question?
No, I wouldn't need to.
You wouldn't need to. But Yagao, you're meant to be a top 3, top 4 mid laner. You buy Meji's.
Look, I think he's probably making the correct call, honestly. I know it's not the fan favorite call.
No, it's not correct either.
But
continue.
The thing is, you are jumping into the likes of Meiko, you're jumping into the likes of Scout, who has clarity, just used it, which is kind of hilarious. No longer a similar spell that you can actually use, but...
Well, Kindred.
Yeah. But the thing is, because you're jumping into a bunch of CC and so many options for them to burst you down if you do make a misstep of Yagao, investing all that gold into something that can very quickly deteriorate in the next coming fights doesn't quite make the best of choices, but it's still the one that would be the more confident play, I would say.
It's not going to be happy either way. I'll leave it for now. JDG push mid, double 80 carry. They do these turrets pretty damn quick at this point, and Zoom's always in a flanking position, having that ultimate. JDG have taken everything here. This is clear control of Summoner's Rift at 20 minutes into the game. The Mountain Soul point on the horizon. Everyone has the bounty. That's a carry. The tanks and the Bard sitting 1-1 and 5, 0-1 and 10. Almost 100% kill participation for LvMao. Again, he's had a really good game, and the Colonel returns in the nick of time when we have doubts about who's going to win. He says, just if you didn't know, 96% sure.
Well, this is why we're talking about, look, JDG still scale relatively good. I mean, pretty damn good, honestly, against EDG as well, because of the double 80 carry. As well, the way I'm talking about the scaling from EDG is more to get hope towards the items where he can be super strong, but it does become very difficult for EDG to combat against JDG. As you talked about, Lamb's Respite makes it very difficult to finish off low health bar members. Also, the Tempered Fate from LvMao is so damn good against this Aphelios 2, which is the main source of damage for EDG. So I think EDG as a whole are going to struggle throughout these fights, even when they get to the stage where Aphelios is strong. It's just it becomes at least a point of conversation when it gets to those three items.
Well, for the very meantime, we're just going to watch JDG dominance across the map. Yagao can't be matched by Scout, who has built-in MR. And it's probably going to have to go for some more MR at this point. Dragon up in 45 seconds. Kanavi just looking across for any resource he can take. He's already up 50 CS over his counterpart in Jiejie. 2 levels there as well. That is going to be... Is that a Quinsus? No. What's coming up? Blade of the Rune King, sorry. I'm sorry.
You've been playing too much TFT.
Dude, I have not. I've played one game. I've been playing a lot of Orianna, actually.
True, actually.
A lot of my namesake.
Not
my namesake. God, that was the most embarrassing
I was like,
thing
hang on, I know you got a tattoo of her, but did you change your name to Orianna at some point?
My middle name is Orianna.
Ah, makes sense, makes sense.
Yeah. It's so, yeah, anyway, I'll leave it there before I embarrass myself anymore. Dragon's up in 5 seconds. Let's head towards it. Morello picked up second for Yagao. Still upsetty spaghetti, but he'll be coming back out to Summoner's Rift still a lot stronger than he was a few moments ago. As no contest here. EDG have backed away, playing epically safe, and are waiting for this game to be at a state where maybe JDG do Baron. Maybe that's the throw.
Well, potentially, but hopefully JDG have learned that
potentially.
They can. Yeah.
It's not even a they shouldn't, it's a potentially.
Potentially, definitely maybe a factor here, but I think you got a lot of pick potential with JDG where if you try to opt into these fights as EDG, or at least trying to get this vision control back as EDG in your topside jungle, like between a Tempered Fade, Enchanted Crystal Arrows, and even Yagao's burst potential right now is 3, 0, and 8, 2 levels above a lot of the people on EDG. He can just one-shot folks. So I think it becomes a little bit difficult for EDG to operate in and around this pit, especially when JDG are searching for the top.
Aodi is just paying the respect to Zoom as well. I mean, at this point, EDG, their options limited, but every objective that comes up, we'll see what they want to do. 4 minutes till the soul secured with a mountain on this Volibear. And heading towards Baron, trying to clear out some vision. Meiko has to be careful he doesn't step out of line.
The Wolf is just going to stay there and tickle for a little bit.
I mean, this series to me, although it's been messy in Game 1, Game 2 has been so much fun. I have to say, are JDG back? They're on a trend to becoming back. I think they're on a trend to ramping up to playoffs. Because the expectation is that JDG are a top 3 team. However, the first half of the split, they have not been acting like one.
And it is kind of nuts to see the difference where, like, when Zoom came back in, they just went on this tear, undefeated with Zoom across multiple different series. And then we were kind of like, okay, cool, well, we're going to hit towards playoffs. They do end up having a few stumbling blocks against like top esports, but still take that spring split finals. And I was like, okay, cool. Well, look, I'm set to have JDG come into summer and just tear through everyone once again. But it's been a very different story. And we're starting to see inklings of it, as you said, but definitely not as confident in the ability of JDG to perform in the same way they have. This game, though, Kanavi looking good on his Kindred, going back towards what has been the original spring style of JDG, playing through Kanavi, setting him up for success, gifting over kills in those early stages. He's looking pretty good.
He's got his third item. Blade of the Ruined King was just completed. We're watching Zoom kill the bottom lane turret with his 2 items of Trinity and Death's Dance. I was going to touch on that with how I think if we didn't have MSC, we'd still expect JDG to be the #1 team. MSC gave us a bit of an insight to how good top esports are now. And that's why all the casters just put top esports #1. It was everyone, wasn't it?
I believe so. I definitely have anyway. And I know yourself
I know Lyric did.
Yeah, so...
I hope I'm not misrepresenting him.
I think he is V5 top.
Oh, that's true. He had V5 first, and then second and third didn't matter because he kind of wrote V5 a couple of times.
He just said, like, first was V, second was I, third was C. Yeah, I got you.
I put V5 16th, and I'm still embarrassed.
I think most of us did. To be honest, like, I didn't expect Victory 5 to look as good coming in. I mean, it's a bunch of rookies. It's BuBu who didn't look good on Suni.
And it's kind of crazy how, like, the players came through. But more importantly, in relevance to this series, they look better than JDG in their heights as Aodi has to flash away. JDG, some of their games, this split, V5 have looked better. So it's kind of interesting the dynamic that's shifted. How JDG have been trying to rise back up to form as the best team in the LPL, being overshadowed by top esports firmly right now and some other teams. But this is a firm start. EDG are meant to be in the top 8 themselves in this series. They've shown us that they've got a lot of work to do. Down 9,000 gold in the second game, 26 minutes in. We got the Mountain Soul coming up in 50 seconds, and things have been quiet. Bar that flash from Aodi. We're now going to ramp up and see if EDG are willing to give this one away.
Hysterics, you're going to be happy, though.
Oh, he's got a Magize.
He's got us.
Thank you so much. He knew this fight was coming up, and he thought he would end on about 1,000,000,001 stacks.
Well, best way to do that is to kill 1,000,000,001 people, so we'll have to see if he can get at least 5 on EDG's side. JDG, though, have control of this river. EDG are now in a position where they can fight super well, or at least attempt to, with Hope having those 3 items.
Enchanted Crossfire, EDG have just walked into this one. Aodi tanks it up for a bit. Meiko goes in, sets up the ulti for Scout. The wombo from EDG misses while Yagao hits the back line like a truck on a motorway. Scout runs into LoKen, but he doesn't care. This Ashe is going forward, and the rest of JDG will too.
And there you have it. We just said, look, Hope is going to have his work cut out from in these fights. Yagao says, I got you, buddy. You're going to die to me. Despite the Tempered Fates, despite the Ashes, despite everyone gunning for him, really there is no hope for EDG anymore.
Nope.
And it looks like instead of closing this game out, or at least cracking open some of these structures, they're going to go get the Mountain, they're going to get the Baron, and they're going to make sure that they can close this game out nice and handily.
Mountain Soul, clean stuff. And JDG this time around, they're like, hey, we can't throw the Baron away. Let's put LvMao on the back of the pit.
It's 3 levels now for Kanavi over Jiejie. So look, I'm saying if Jiejie manages to steal this Kanavi, I think you got to hang up your mouse and keyboard.
Well said. Baron secured, cleaner version of game 1. And JDG returning to form here in the summer split.
And you can see it here in this fight. I mean, look, Hope is already zoned out by Yagao, just focused off on the left-hand side here. He just get that ult off, but literally him moving forward to get that ult kills him. And then at that stage, it's like, right, well, LoKen's free-firing here. He's been doing an amazing job on this Ashe, consistently positioning where he can clear out this front line. Yagao having access to the back. It's what we expected. It's why we called it so difficult for EDG to fight against.
A much better former JDG. A former JDG, just, guys, flashback. In spring, we talked a lot about their skirmishes and how clean they could be. Like, we use the word scrappers, but then we call them an intelligent team because of how they set up their fights, how they set up their games. This game was set up from the get-go through the bottom lane and the scrapping But then we got the smarter side of JDG, and Yagao on his own. Remember, he has Magi's, and guys with Magi's don't die. A LeBlanc goes back on it, exhausted out, tries to play around Scout as double distortion in. The binding will lock up Scout, and he's
They're
away.
ending the game. JDG are just ending the game.
So that was worth it. Yagao's going to come and help out.
Okay. Well, 2 inhibitors. JDG now in prime position in front of this Nexus.
Yep. And dagged up, they're going to run it forward. All they need is a knock-up. Good from Aodi. The lockdown onto LoKen and LvMao back away. Meiko absorbs damage, but so does Aodi, while Zoom doesn't die. The Tempered Fate hits Meiko, and EDG at a numbers disadvantage already as the Lambs Spite flies on down. Yagao backs away, doesn't want to lose those Magi stacks. He's got 18 of them.
Look
will then go to 20, and LoKen's hitting away once again as Hope wants to Aphelios it, but Ashe apparently wins. Scout with the Winds of War can't hit LoKen, who has had such a good season, and JDG having a great series will nail themselves up the standings, destroy EDG's confidence, because let me tell you something, EDG should be sad about this series. JDG spanked them.
JDG in game number 2 bring it all